Paul, let's go back to Friday, the 21st of October, your fourth league game in charge. You lost at Ipswich.
See the link.
It was a result that left you just outside the top six. Did you think at that stage that you would be in the mix for the playoffs at this stage of the season?
That's why I'm laughing, because my memory's so bad. You're asking the wrong man the question. Where was I? Did I think we'd be in the mix? Yeah, I did, honestly. I did. There was foundations of good stuff here. We tried. Obviously, I think that game I played a back three. I might be wrong. I think I played Dobbs and Sulu up top, which is very good if I'm right. I remembered that. But I did realise that we probably had to play a different way. But I did think we'd be in there, and I've got full respect for my staff and know what we can do as a group, and thought with the players we had here we'd have a right chance. So yeah, it sounds a bit arrogant, but I thought we'd be in and around it. And in fairness, if you're 10th currently, you're still in and around it. So it isn't a colossal, reign of ego that he thinks he can do this. Like being in the top 10, you are in and around it till the last couple of games. So yeah, I thought we'd be up there.
How much progress do you think you've made since that last meeting with Ipswich, 6 months ago?
Very good question. I'm not sure. Not as much as I would like. And if you asked me 6 weeks ago, I'd have said massive strides. But it feels like, and this is probably a fair thing to say, we just look a little bit on the side of jaded at the moment, I think. But generally speaking, the lads have done everything we've asked them to do, bar a couple of 45-minute displays. I think they've been really good. So we've used the least amount of players in the league, so they've given me everything. And we've obviously brought different staff in behind the scenes of what fans don't see, what we're trying to do at the club. And it will be I say that, I could get sacked tomorrow, but a medium sort of thing. It ain't going to happen overnight. But yeah, I think we're pretty pleased with where we're going. But unfortunately, our work, and this is for every manager, only gets judged on the performance on a Saturday. I understand that. And like I said before in interviews, if the team win tomorrow, everyone goes away thinking, they've worked really hard. The players must have took information on this week, blah, 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 blah. But if we lose, they'll think, what they've been doing all week, playing pool and darts. So, I'd like to say I'm really good at pool, but not so much anymore. But so I feel like we are going in the right direction. I do feel like currently our form is poor. I'm not going to say it isn't. We're below half in the league. If the league started 3 weeks ago, we'd be bottom half of the league, which isn't good enough. And in moments in games we've been excellent. We've had 45 minutes here and then followed it up with a poor 45 minutes, and that's what we've got to try and sort out. And we need to sort of build the lads up so they go confident into the game, because their best version of themselves is excellent, but collectively we've just been a little bit off.
You've shown how good you can be, and I appreciate expectation changes everything, especially in this game. Are you still pointing back to the games from that run to the players and saying, look, this is the best version of you, as you like to put it?
No, not really. We all do it in different ways. The lads you don't want to live in the past. Like I always say to them, look, you're never more experienced than you are today. You'll never be as young as you are today, and you've never been this old. So look, you can't harp on about things that have happened in the past, because look, 45 minutes at Plymouth, we had the world sussed. We had a second half, which it seems like it sort of knocked the lads' confidence a little bit. I might be speaking out of turn. That's how it feels. But it's more personal than that, I think. I've had more conversations with individual players, because I can see a few of the players are just a little bit off sync. There's still obvious elephants in the room that frustrate, but every team, unless you're the top team of the Premier League, have faults. I know that, but it's not so much we say, we used to do this. So like back in January, we looked, unbeatable. We weren't scoring a goal every 2 games like Ipswich are off set pieces. We weren't doing it then. So why should I expect it to do it now? Although we keep reinforcing it, keep trying to change it, as we're trying to do again tomorrow. So it's not about living in the past too much. The lads just want to live in today, want to try and get in the team for this week, want to train really well this week, want to catch the eye this week, because I always say you need to play the next game like it's your last game of your life. So that's how we play.
I'm not going to ask you for the team. I've never expected you to tell me anyway.
I was then going to tell you. I'd written it down on this side of the cup in case I forgot.
But I wonder how Is this as complicated as, because I know it's a discussion you have within the coaching staff, isn't it? Are the conversations at the moment about the team you picked for the weekend, are they as complicated as they've been at any point?
Yeah, definitely. Because if the team's winning, it just picks itself, really. I mean, if we win 3-0 tomorrow, next week's team's pretty easy to pick. You just throw the shirts out and the people who haven't played won't even walk near them. I mean, in fairness, it's different now. You have your own name, but you get my point. So whenever you're not winning and you're trying to find the winning formula, you try and tweak with things. And sometimes, and this is the problem, sometimes you could tweak the only thing that was working, and it can get worse before it gets better, and that's the sad reality. Look, there's no science to football. No one listening to me talking has the definitive 11 or the definitive shape, or there isn't such a thing. You can only go on what you see and what you see the opposition, and like we see him train every day, who looks on form, and he doesn't look right, and he looks a little bit underconfident. That's not the right word, but low on confidence. So, but you do have more conversations, you do, and obviously the more the lack of performances you get, the more the sleepless nights come back for a manager and coaching staff, and the more you second guess yourself and everything. And look, we're really confident in what we do, but it just takes more process, is probably the fairest way to say it.
Ipswich on Saturday. I know you'll have done the research, and I won't go through all the various statistics.
Oh, I've got a few as well.
They're top of the league. Well, we can compare. If you
Okay,
like.
yeah. They've gone 6 wins on the spin without conceding. They score a set-piece goal every 2 games, which, if you get that right, if nothing else you get right, and you can defend set-pieces, you're always going to be in the top 6. Virtually fact. Every team that gets promoted seems to be the best at set-pieces. They recruited well in January, which isn't a stat. They've had a right go. They've got choices of players all over the park. They like to play out from the back. They're in very good form. There isn't much more I can say about them. They're one of the leaders and the blueprints, which I don't very often say, for the league. They've got, other teams in the top 6 currently, as everyone knows, find it difficult to win games. And Ipswich are probably, Ipswich and Barnsley might be the ones who are swimming against that trend.
But at Pride Park, you'd back yourself against anyone. Is that fair?
Yeah, our best version, not our Fleetwood version. I wouldn't bet that against beating anyone, let alone Ipswich. Our best version, yeah, definitely. And it's one of them days, I think, tomorrow, which is weird for us, that I'm not saying we go in as underdogs. I never think we go in as underdogs, but normally we're roaring favourites wherever we go, and even away from home, we always seem to be the favourites, and Derby. But it's one of them days where, like tomorrow, you need everyone pulling in the right direction. You need the fans to cheer everything that's going on, because they're playing against a very good team. I do think it's a very good team, and I think the performance as well as the result is important for the games remaining. Our season isn't going to be, I've said this for weeks, there's a few games left. Our season isn't going to be fully focused on that one game, but I do know how much that one game can count as a mood swing, as a confidence booster, as a confidence ruiner. In fairness, it can go either way. So, we've took a lot of care on the team selection. But look, at 5 o'clock tomorrow, I could look like a Where's Wally or a genius. That's just how football is. We've tried to pick the most aggressive team as always, and the lads train excellent today, as they did all week. So we go into it with real confidence, but we are playing against a very good team, so we need a lot to go our way to be victorious.